GFR can improve at any stage of chronic kidney disease, stage 5 included, says science. This is what a large cohort study proved. This research involved more than 400 people stage 2 to 5 and lasted more than 8 years. 62 of them were able to improve even if they were in stage 4 or 5. The study was published in the journal PLOS ONE, a leading scientific publication. Now the interesting part. Researchers outlined all the aspects of what made an improvement in GFR numbers possible. And you can follow the same strategy that made this possible. Yes, they found the secret to reverse it. And now you may ask, Catherine, you always tell us that people can improve their GFR even in the advanced stages. What's new about this study? Well, beside the fact that they followed 400 patients for more than 8 years and proved that even those in stage 5 can improve their GFR, the most interesting thing about this study is that researchers isolated all the factors that made an improvement possible. By the way, GFR means glomerular filtration rate. It tells you exactly how much your precious filters are working. Yes, today we will look at this study and we will see exactly what matters the most in improving your GFR. They basically divided all the participants in the study in two groups. The 62 improvers, that are those that did had an improvement, and those that never did, the non-improvers. Scientists were then able to find out what made a difference between those that improved and those that didn't. This is incredibly interesting for us because many of the factors they found out to be key to improve are widely underestimated by today's practice. Let's take a look. GFR also improved in advanced stages. 24.2% of the improvers were in stage 4 and 5. Now guys, you know me, I won't bother you with numbers and statistics. All I care about is showing you what actually works. And I've examined this paper and I've extrapolated what really matters for you. Today, I will show you exactly how to translate science into practice. I want to show you exactly what to do to achieve an improvement. Question: what factors make a difference in reversing the decline of GFR? So this paper outlined 5 factors, 5 targets that once achieved will make an improvement in GFR possible. Please pay close attention to this part. Solving each one of these issues was shown to be the way to reverse the decline. Please pay close attention to this. You need to make sure you are in the green about each one of these. First, systolic and diastolic pressure. Okay, these count as 2 points, by the way. It's clear that managing this aspect is crucial. Second, proteinuria. Spoiler alert, this turned out to be the most important factor. More about this later in the video. Third, use of renin-angiotensin system blocker. These include the very commonly used ARBs and ACEIs. Now, this is a somehow controversial topic. We will see why in a moment. Fourth, also very important, the number of complications present. Anemia, hyperphosphatemia, metabolic acidosis, and hyperkalemia. Solving these complications really made a huge difference. Now, the last factor is the deficiency of one key nutrient. This nutrient alone was seen to be just as important as managing some of the worst issues linked to the decline in GFR. Okay, let's go a bit more in depth and see how you are supposed to achieve the targets outlined by this study. Remember that those that had an improvement in GFR, those that reversed the decline in renal function, were those that were able to put a green check mark on most of these points. Let's see how to do this. Not surprising, keeping your pressure in check was the first point on the list. Guys, I cannot stress how important it is to achieve a pressure below 130 over 80 millimeters of mercury. Make sure you are not over this limit. Now, in my videos, I usually focus on natural ways to achieve this very important target. Regular exercise, limiting sodium consumption, keeping the right weight, and even certain natural supplements are all going to help. And there is a reason for that. The second target, taking ASI and ARBs. In this study, researchers were able to outline one of the conundrums most nephrologists are facing today: the use of ACE inhibitors and angiotensin receptor blockers. This research confirmed what I have already shown you in some of my previous videos. I read you what they wrote briefly. Improvers had lower systolic, diastolic, mean, and pulsed arterial BP than non-improvers. Moreover, improvers had high BP, whether defined as above 140/90 or 130/80 millimeters of mercury, less often than non-improvers. Which means that, as I was saying, you need to keep your pressure below 130/80 if you want to improve. However, at the last visit, improvers used ASI or ARBs and diuretic loops significantly less often, as well as significantly fewer types of different antihypertensives than non-improvers. Which means that those that improve are the participants who were able to keep their pressure in the right range naturally. And yes, this may seem strange at first, but it was confirmed by other studies too. So, question: why is keeping your pressure low without ASI or ARBs key to improve GFR? ACE inhibitors or ASI are those ending in pril, such as enalapril and lisinopril, and more. ARBs are those ending in sartan, such as losartan, valsartan, and many more. But they also come in brand names. I have a list now on screen, you can see. So what is the issue with this? On one hand, these are supposed to protect your GFR by decreasing both your pressure and your proteinuria levels. So basically, they should be the best thing in the world for people in any stage of CRF. Or at least this is what we used to think. Today we know that real-world results do not confirm the theory that ASI and ARBs are your most helpful allies. Truth is, they may be doing just as much harm as good. Most recent research found out that instead of protecting your precious filters, ASI and ARBs are going to slowly damage your nephrons. Yeah, this is really a conundrum, but don't take this as a reason to suspend any of these if you are taking them. Always follow your nephrologist's advice, and if they gave you one of these, keep taking it, because as we have seen, keeping your pressure in check is something you absolutely need to do. This is why my advice usually is to find ways to reduce your dependency on ASI and ARBs through lifestyle changes gradually to keep your pressure down naturally. The next point we need to focus on is third target, proteinuria. Now, managing proteinuria is probably the most important factor in reversing the decline of GFR. Yes, this study basically confirmed what anyone following me already knew about this issue. Yes, proteinuria level will basically tell you if your GFR is going to improve or decline in the future. It is a predictor. And guys, while ARBs and ASI are supposed to lower your proteinuria, among other things, they are not as helpful as they are supposed to be. Luckily for us, there are other ways to decrease proteinuria naturally. Eating less protein, drinking more water, increasing your antioxidant intake, and taking certain supplements can make a huge difference in managing proteinuria. And now, if you want to know more about how to lower your proteinuria naturally and protect your precious nephrons, my video up here is for you. Now let's talk about the fourth target, the complications. Complications are, in short, all those issues that are caused by CRF and that are also known to make GFR decline faster. If you have any of these, you must take all the steps possible to take care of them. The complications underlined in this study are hyperphosphatemia, or too high phosphorus levels. These can be dealt with by following a way of eating low in meat and dairy and with phosphate binders. And also, metabolic acidosis, or too much acidity in the body. This is a common complication of the advanced stages. It can be dealt with by taking one supplement. And also, high potassium levels, another controversial issue. You see, for decades, high potassium levels were considered mainly caused by reduced GFR and by foods rich in potassium. Today, we know that is not the case. What actually causes hyperkalemia are conditions such as unmanaged diabetes, metabolic acidosis, but also taking ARBs and ASI. Eating less potassium doesn't really help keeping potassium levels under control. And also, anemia. Anemia is what I consider probably one of the worst complications. It causes a lot of issues and also fatigue, and there is no doubt that it makes GFR decline at a faster rate. It's also more complex to deal with, and it must be approached by several angles. The way you eat, certain supplements, and more. And by the way, I've made videos for the other complications too. So if you need them, just ask in comment section and I will give you a link. Now guys, we have seen until now some very important targets we need to achieve to stop and reverse the decline of GFR. To stop the damage, managing pressure, the use of sartans, managing proteinuria, and taking care of the complications. The large study we are looking at today says very clearly that if you can put a green check mark on each one of these targets, your chances of improving are going to be maximized despite the stage you are in. Being in stage 4 or 5 is not an issue as long as you can take care of these 4 targets. Before I show you the 5th target we need to aim at, which is overcoming a common nutrient deficiency, we need to talk about the elephant in the room. So according to the study, improvers had diabetes mellitus, DM in short, less often than non-improvers. So participants that had any form of DM had less chance of improving than those who didn't. Now, this doesn't mean that with DM you cannot improve your GFR. Actually, of the 62 people that improved their GFR, 9 had diabetes. But it means that someone with DM is less likely to improve, unfortunately. Now, what many don't know about type 2 diabetes, the most common DM is that it can be reversed. And we can tell for sure that any improvement you can do to your sugar level is going to hugely help your GFR too. Okay, time now to see the last target we need to hit. And I want to say that what this study found really is something worth thinking about. They proved that achieving the targets I've shown you is way more important in reversing GFR decline than just the stage you are in. Which means that even those in stage 4 and 5 can improve. And this goes in the opposite way of today's conventional thinking. So what really matters is achieving these targets, dealing with all the issues that stand in your way to a better renal health. In this spirit, the last target the study outlined is vitamin D. Be very careful with your levels for this nutrient. As very carefully outlined, the lower the levels of this nutrient are, the greater the chance of declining GFR. Now the problem here is that this is a very common deficiency, even though supplementing it may be at risk for too low levels and for a faster decline in GFR. What to do to solve this issue? Watch my video about it here. Are you making dangerous mistakes with vitamin supplementation? If you have kidney problems, supplementing the right vitamins is key to stabilize and improve your kidney function. But a recent study found out that all kidney disease patients hospitalized during the study had low levels of at least one vitamin. Having low levels of any vitamin is very dangerous. On the other hand, taking too much of the wrong vitamin can damage your kidneys even faster. But to look on the bright side, when you find ways to keep all the most important essential nutrients in balance, you will be able to help your kidneys do their job much better. This is exactly what we will achieve today. You see, there are vitamins that can help you manage blood sugar and diabetes. There are vitamins that will help you detox your kidneys. Certain vitamins, if taken properly, will even help you lower proteinuria levels. So let's see what vitamins you need and how to take them safely. A question before we begin. Is taking vitamins without getting informed really dangerous? We have recently examined the case study of a 54-year-old man that destroyed his kidneys by taking too much vitamin D. He had healthy kidney before receiving bad advice. In just a few months of taking 10,000 IU of vitamin D, he ended up with permanent kidney damage. Now guys, getting bad advice is even more dangerous for those with kidney problems. There are vitamins you are never supposed to supplement, such as vitamin A and K. So to avoid unnecessary risks, today I will show you the most updated info about what vitamins will really help you with diabetes and kidney disease. I also prepared some slides to show you so you can see the most common dosages on screen. So let's start immediately with the most important question. What vitamins are always bad for the kidneys? Soluble. There are 14 vitamins and they are divided in two groups. Fat-soluble vitamins, A, D, E, and K, and water-soluble vitamins, B group and C. This is an important difference. Someone with kidney disease is supposed to supplement all water-soluble vitamins and to be very careful with fat-soluble vitamins. What to avoid? Now, vitamin D is the exception, as we can see, because even if it's fat-soluble, you are still supposed to supplement it. So to answer the question, what vitamins are dangerous for you? We have 3 vitamins you will usually be told to avoid: A, E, and K. Now, supplementing vitamin A is especially dangerous, and it's also the reason why people with kidney problems are recommended to avoid regular multivitamins. Vitamin A can easily build up in the body and it can cause nausea, vomiting, headaches, and in more severe cases, it may cause serious liver and kidney damage. So the only occasion in which you are supposed to supplement it is when your doctor explicitly tells you to. Now remember that these risks are only linked to the use of supplements. Eating foods rich in these vitamins do not present any danger unless you are eating kilos of cod liver. Now vitamin K comes with some risks too, as it makes the blood more prone to clotting, and these may be dangerous for certain patients. Vitamin K and E are not as dangerous as vitamin A, and vitamin E in particular may even come with some benefits, especially for people with diabetes. In a recent study, this vitamin was used to achieve a significant reduction in blood sugar levels and in creatinine levels in diabetes patients. Now, in CKD patients, however, the guideline is to avoid supplementing this vitamin. Eating foods rich in vitamin E is alright, however, and select patients may really benefit from a supplement too. Okay, we have seen what to avoid. Now question, what vitamins are crucial to supplement? Now guys, given the inherent dangers of taking multivitamins, some people may think that it will be better to avoid supplements altogether, and this may even work for the general population. People with diagnosed kidney disease absolutely need to keep their levels of these 3 vitamins high enough. Vitamins of the B group, vitamin C, and vitamin D. You see, these 3 vitamins are often too low in patients with CKD. So let's take a look at how to supplement them, starting with vitamins of the B group. Here. Question: why do you need to supplement B vitamins? Vitamin B6, vitamin B9, and vitamin B12 are key to fight anemia, but all these vitamins are crucial for your health. It's almost impossible to get enough of these in a renal diet, and they are all very important. Vitamin B12 is also crucial to fight fatigue. Some people consider it the energy vitamin. Vitamin B6 is frequently too low in people with kidney problems, and it's crucial for the nervous system and immune system. Vitamin B2 or riboflavin boosts the immune system and fights headaches. Vitamin B3 or niacin helps with cholesterol. B5 fights stress. B7 and B1 lower blood sugar in diabetes. And also consider that each one of these vitamins comes with a long list of nasty side effects when the levels are too low. Now, what you can see in my slide are the most commonly supplemented dosages for all vitamins of the B group. Recommendations for people with CKD are different from those for the general population, as we can see. You are supposed to supplement even 6 or 10 times more of certain B vitamins. And while there are multivitamins with these exact doses, you don't really need to be this accurate when it comes to B vitamins. If you take a little bit more, it's usually not a big problem. The exceptions are vitamin B3 and B6. High doses of supplemental B3 or niacin may lead to vomiting, high blood sugar levels, skin flushing, and even liver damage. And also high doses of B6 can cause nerve damage, light sensitivity, and painful skin lesions. So make sure your vitamin is close to what you see here in terms of B3 and B6 especially. Another side effect of B-complex supplements is that they can turn your urine bright yellow. Although discolored urine can be shocking, it's not dangerous. It's simply your body getting rid of excess vitamins. And there are various supplement brands selling vitamins of the B group in doses suitable for people with CKD, and I've linked a couple down in the description. Now, in alphabetical order, next vitamin you need is vitamin C. Vitamin C is crucial for good kidney health. This is an extremely powerful antioxidant, and antioxidants are key to protect the kidneys and slow down CKD. Vitamin C also fights inflammation. It can detox the body from excess uric acid, and it's even linked to lowered blood pressure and cholesterol levels. And vitamin C is also key when it comes to fighting anemia. Anemia is extremely common in CKD, and it's a known cause of kidney damage and even death. You really want to get enough vitamin C every day, both from foods and supplements. Talking about supplements, while vitamin C is water soluble just like B vitamins, it comes with some dangers. Don't supplement too much of this vitamin unless instructed by your doctor. So how to correct supplement vitamin C? When it comes to vitamin C, many supplements contain extremely large amounts of the vitamins, which can cause serious problems. Main danger here is the formation of kidney stones. This is especially a concern for people with a water allowance. Vitamin C in high doses and low water intake is bad. Vitamin C in high doses and low water intake is a bad combination. Also be very careful, especially if you have a history of calcium oxalate kidney stones. Now, vitamin C is also crucial for good kidney health, and if you take it in a low dose, it is also 100% safe. So even if you don't have a deficiency, consider supplementing vitamin C. But be careful with supplement you buy. Many supplements on the market contain 500 milligrams or even 1000 milligrams per single pill, and that's too much. Actually, you will get most of the benefits this vitamin has to offer already with a dose as low as 100 milligrams per day. Most multivitamins marketed for kidney disease patients only have 60 milligrams of vitamin C, and that's already enough. Another recommendation when it comes to finding the right supplement for vitamin C: look for ascorbic acid, not for the more common sodium ascorbate. Sodium ascorbate contains sodium, aka salt, and you don't really want to supplement salt to your diet. Now guys, one more vitamin to see, maybe the most important. A word of advice before we get to that. Remember that the dosages and tips I give you here are not meant to replace what your doctor may prescribe you about vitamins or treatments. I'm telling you this because I always get comments of people asking me to double check if what their doctors prescribe them is correct. But you see, it should be the other way around. You should be asking your doctor if what I suggest you is right for you. The right dose for any vitamin depends on your blood analysis and on any symptom you may have. And I don't know that. I don't know your levels for any vitamin. Your doctor is the only one that can tell you what right dosage for you is. So my point is, I'm here to inform you. I can definitely point you in the right direction, showing you what vitamins are known to help and how to take them, but your doctor has the final say. You should be asking your doctor if what I say is good for you, not the other way around like I see happening all the times. So let's take a look at how to supplement the kidney vitamin. Vitamin D. This is maybe even more important than vitamin C and vitamins of the B group because it fights proteinuria, a marker of kidney health, just as important as creatinine. This vitamin here significantly reduced the severity of proteinuria among patients with CKD in studies. Also, kidney disease patients with the higher levels of this vitamin are considered less at risk of dying. But the most important thing about vitamin D is that it's almost always too low in those with kidney problems. A recent study found that all kidney disease patients hospitalized during the study had low levels of vitamin D, including those supplementing it. This happens because the kidney is the organ supposed to convert vitamin D2 and vitamin D3 both from the sun and from foods or supplements into the active form the body needs. The active form of vitamin D is called calcitriol. Notice that this is different from cholecalciferol or vitamin D3. So there are two things you need to do when it comes to vitamin D. First, supplement it. There is no harm in taking around 2000 IU of vitamin D3 every day as long as you take it with enough vitamin K2 and magnesium. Now, as we can see here, general recommendation is to take vitamin D3 2000 IU with vitamin K2 100 to 300 micrograms both in the morning and with some fats to improve absorption. You see, vitamin D is actually a pre-hormone and it helps the body raising calcium levels. Vitamin K2, on the other hand, tells the body where to put calcium. People taking vitamin D without vitamin K2 may risk unwanted calcification in tissue and veins, and that's no good. Now, the other thing you should know about vitamin D is that you also need to take magnesium when you supplement it. Magnesium levels are often too low in those with CKD, and if that happens, it will be much harder to raise serum vitamin D levels. This mineral is used by the body in the metabolism of vitamin D. Taking large doses of vitamin D without enough magnesium can induce severe depletion of magnesium, among other things. The solution? Also supplement magnesium. Magnesium deficiency is very common among people with kidney problems, especially those taking diuretics and in diabetics, and it may cause poor sleep, inflammation, high uric acid levels, and high blood sugar levels. Some of the worst risk factors for CKD. This is a deficiency you absolutely want to avoid. Lower serum magnesium levels are also associated with an increased risk of both ending up on dialysis and death. Magnesium is usually taken in the evening because it will help you relax. And for those with kidney problems, magnesium oxide 3400 milligrams a day is recommended. Second thing to know when taking vitamin D. Get checked regularly for vitamin D3 levels even if you are supplementing it. As we have seen, the kidneys convert this vitamin into the active form. It may happen that someone supplementing it cannot raise their serum levels enough. So ask your doctor to be tested for vitamin D3 levels. What to do if you are already supplementing vitamin D3 but your serum levels keep being low? In some cases, getting higher doses may help, but if that doesn't work, you will need a special prescription from your doctor. Okay guys, this was pretty thorough and you probably have now a better understanding on how to benefit from vitamins without any risks. Remember that you can ask any questions about vitamins down in comment section. I usually try to answer as many as I can. You may have noticed that I haven't talked about what foods have this much needed vitamins in them. So if you want to know more about that, please watch my video up here. There is no denying that the most useful intervention for those who want to lower their creatinine levels is to limit protein intake. There is literature to prove that it works, and there is plenty of you guys reporting huge successes when limiting protein intake. And today we are going to answer one of the most important questions. I've got several questions about this, so I decided to make a full video about this question because this is a matter of extreme importance right now. So many people today are finally doing the switch from a diet that damages the kidneys to one that protects them, a low protein diet. I'm not exaggerating when I say that finding a way to reduce protein is the very first step towards lowering your creatinine levels. Yes, there is no improving, there is no avoiding ESRF if we don't find a way to manage protein intake correctly. But there is one problem here. Limiting protein intake is not easy. It comes with unwanted effects. It comes with problems and questions not easy to answer. So if you want to follow a diet that actually lowers your creatinine, you must do it right. This is what we talk about today. First question is about plant protein. Is plant protein safe for people with kidney problems? The short answer is no, unfortunately. You should severely limit even plant-based protein too if you have kidney disease stage 3, 4 or 5. So if you were eating soy or legumes on the regular, for example, you will need to limit that. But there is a but. There are some exceptions to the rule. Yes, this is a complex topic and the answer is not as simple as just avoiding anything protein. There is the need for a longer answer. Before that, we need to understand a little bit better what changed in the world of nephrology today. Why are so many CRF sufferers doing the switch to a low protein way of eating right now? Now, if you follow me regularly, you may already know that I'm a firm supporter of the very low protein diet, or VLPD in short. I've really been advocating the VLPD for what feels like forever now. And eventually, in 2020, I was proven right. Today's guideline says that every single CRF sufferer must avoid protein at all costs. Yes, it's in the rule book now. Naysayers will have to step down and stop spamming us with all that about the keto diet, the paleo diet, the carnivore, and that other millions of diets that will only send you in dialysis faster.
For people who, say, suffer from kidney disease or heart disease or high cholesterol, do those people have to be worried switching on to something that's animal-based?
No, you don't. And so there's this huge misconception in the medical community that a diet high in protein is bad for your kidneys. There's no research, definitely no controlled research that shows that a high protein diet, protein from any sort, is bad for the human kidneys.
This is what science says. This is what the rule book says. Here, we can read it. For adults with CKD stage 3 to 5 who are metabolically. For adults with CKD stage 3 to 5 who are metabolically stable, protein should be restricted to 0.55 to 0.60 grams per kilograms ideal body weight per day. It is slightly higher for those with diabetes, 0.6 to 0.8 grams per kilogram ideal body per weight. And the reason why they are now putting that on writing is because it works. What are the advantages of a low protein diet? There are several proven different benefits of the LPD. Decreased proteinuria. Proteinuria is not just the most important first sign of problems. It's also a predictor of GFR decline, by the way. But also decreased uremic toxins. Consider that uremic toxins are the cause of most signs associated with late stage of CRF. Decreased metabolic acidosis, decreased phosphorus, very important for the heart among other things. Decreased insulin resistance in those with T2D, decreased hypertension, and most important, ability to slow the decline of GFR. All these benefits are more than just supported by modern science. These are the benefits one of the luminaries of nephrology, Professor Gang Ji Ko, outlined in a very important meta-analysis. We can basically consider them proven. And this is why, while in the past avoiding protein was just my advice, today it is the rule. The current guideline, the rule book nephrologists must follow, says that you need to limit protein intake now. So forgive me for gloating, but knowing that the VLPD is now the rule means that a lot more CRF sufferers will be saved from a lifetime tied to the big D machine. Primary healthcare providers will now have to stop telling the same lie to every single patient. There is nothing we can do, just wait for dialysis. Well, that was and it always will be a lie. There is a lot we can do. But don't let your guard down just yet. Clearly, not every clinician applies the VLPD today. There are still two schools of thought today. Those that will tell you that there is nothing to do except wait for ESRD, and those that will tell you to limit protein intake so you can keep your GFR steady for longer and maybe even improve. And I mean, these are the only two answers you may get from a professional, and only one of them is right. And if your primary healthcare provider tells you to do nothing, find a better one. Find a real nephrologist. And if someone still tells you today to follow a keto diet or any other diet they wrote a book about 10 years ago, don't walk away, run. So we have seen why you need a VLPD. The how is a bit more complex, however. And as I was saying, I actually got several questions about this, and I decided to answer the most important ones here today. Is plant protein safe for people with kidney problems? So the short answer was no. You should severely limit even plant-based protein if you have kidney disease stage 3, 4, or 5. As I was saying, the rule is consuming 0.55 to 0.60 grams per kilograms ideal body weight per day for people without diabetes, and 0.6 to 0.8 grams per kilograms ideal body per weight for people with diabetes. What this implies is that protein should be really limited. So obviously, no meat, no fish, no dairy, no eggs. But you know, some plant-based foods do also contain protein. But they are not to be completely avoided, just limited. The reason is that all foods contain a certain amount of protein. While it's impossible to avoid everything containing protein, it's better to understand very well which foods have the most protein. So question, what plant foods are highest in protein? Legumes, lentils, chickpeas, black beans, soybeans, and peas are all high in protein. And also tofu and tempeh. These are both soy-based products that are rich in protein, and also nuts and seeds. Almonds, peanuts, cashews, chia seeds, pumpkin seeds, and hemp seeds are all sources of protein. And also whole grains, quinoa, brown rice, barley, and oatmeal are all examples of whole grains that are high in protein. Now, even some green vegetables contain some protein, including broccoli, spinach, Brussels sprouts, and asparagus. Now, these foods are mostly on the limit list, not on the avoid list. The exception here are probably legumes and soy-based products. They are very rich in protein and are usually completely avoided. But no serious dietitian will tell you to completely avoid nuts and seeds or whole grains. Limit, yes, but not avoid. Another question that I often get is plant-based protein better for you than meat and fish? Yes, it is better. Firstly, because plant-based foods contain less protein, and also because of acidity. You see, limiting the acid that the foods we eat generate inside the body is one of the main goals of a plant-based eating plan. And plant-based foods are usually alkaline forming, while meat and fish are acid forming. But as I was saying, the quantity here matters more than the quality. You see, what actually causes GFR to decline, what puts all the pressure on the kidney, is something called nitrogen. Dietary nitrogen is created when the digestive tract breaks down protein into amino acids. All protein contains amino acids. Plant protein, animal protein, it's basically all the same on this regard. And when this dietary nitrogen is created, the kidney has to remove it. No other organ can do that. And you see, getting rid of nitrogen is what makes your GFR decline more than anything else. Except, well, for untreated diabetes or hypertension. Yeah, don't let those go untreated. But also don't let protein destroy what's left of your GFR. Another question I got that needs an answer is it safe not to eat protein at all? No, you just can't do that. Zero protein is not safe, nor actually possible. As I was saying, with a few exceptions, basically every food contains some protein, even pasta, bread, rice, even vegetables. So you can't really eat no protein at all. Besides, that will be also very bad for you because while the kidneys really don't like protein, the other organs in your body still need some. And that's basically the worst risk linked to a low protein diet. Question: what are the problems linked to a low protein diet? Well, you risk malnourishment with too little protein, and that's bad. Malnourishment may increase risk for loss of GFR, but also unwanted weight loss and increased morbidity and mortality. We absolutely need to find ways to avoid malnourishment. This is what the author of the commentary to the new guideline writes about this issue. Conveying the message to patients to significantly reduce protein intake without attention to adequate calories may result in unintentional weight loss, malnutrition, and hyperkalemia. In accordance with recent Cochrane guidance on low protein diets for those with CKD, we suggest consideration also be given to the potentially negative impacts of intensive protein restrictions on patient quality of life. And I get that there are risks. And also a diet that restricts protein will make your life more complicated. Life is harder when you cannot eat protein, especially in diabetics and other people who need to also face other serious dietary restrictions. It's not funny at all, and it can take a toll, not just on your mind, but on your body also. Now, the problem is that most naysayers will tell you that since this diet is complicated, it's not easy to follow, it doesn't work, you must not follow a low protein diet because it has risks. What I want to answer them is, what is the alternative? I never get an answer to this question because the answer is dialysis. So what's better, a diet that's hard to follow or a life tied to the big D machine? I let you answer this question. One more very important question needs an answer. How can we avoid malnutrition? There is one way to avoid malnutrition and the other risks linked to a low protein diet that's improperly set up. A supplement called keto analogs. Keto analogs are used to prevent malnourishment in people following a low protein diet. These are special amino acids, the building block of protein. that do not contain nitrogen. As I was saying, nitrogen is what's actually damaging the kidneys. So with keto analogs, you can actually avoid malnutrition while also avoiding the damage. Not every single clinician knows about this, so my advice here is to find a competent nephrologist or a renal dietitian that can help you set up this special eating plan. Nephrologists today must be informed and updated about this. Don't trust a nephrologist that tells you there is nothing we can do. And get informed about keto analogs if you are following a low protein eating plan. I'll talk about them in my video up here. Watch it now to know more. And this is all for today. Thank you for watching. God bless.